Hi everyone, we'll just give it a couple of minutes and, well, we'll give it 30 seconds, see if anyone else turns up. Why? Well, because there's already more here than what I thought was going to be here, so I'm holding out hope that, no, see, that someone else turned up as well. Alright, we'll give it another few seconds, see if anyone else comes in, and then we'll crack on. Okay. For the moment, I'm not going to do any dance or entertainment for you. I'm just going to stand here and watch the numbers go back and forward. Okay, hope that's alright. This is my first live one, so I'm not really sure what actually happens with it. So, good luck to you as well as me. Alright, I think we should just get going. Should we do it? Let's do it. So, thank you for turning up. I'm a little bit disappointed because I had hoped to sit down in front of the TV about now, but that's fine. If you just want to be here and spending your night doing this, that's absolutely fine. I'll stay here with you for the next 20 to 30 minutes, however long it takes me to actually get through this. Alright, so welcome to the world premiere of Thoughts from Lockdown Live. Sounds impressive when you say it like that, doesn't it? I figured if the Avengers can do it, so can I. But that's actually no joke either. It is genuinely the world premiere. No one has ever really heard this routine before. Not even my family, because, we don't really talk anymore. This is, what lockdown has done to us. We're just like strangers. You just pass each other in the house and go, alright? Right. That's it. There's no conversation. Just in case you're wondering, like, why are you standing up? I've seen a few of these comedy type things and people normally are sat down at the computer when they're doing the online ones. Well, that's not me. I like to be method about this sort of thing. I like to hark back to the good old times. My comedy was always done standing in my living room, holding my daughter's karaoke mic that's not actually even plugged in. But it makes me feel better. It makes me remember those good old times when stand-up comedy actually took place on a stage in front of people. Because COVID-19 has actually made it quite tricky for comedy. There we were back in March, on stage making jokes about it, being like, oh, you know how you shouldn't say bomb on an aeroplane? Try coughing in McDonald's. Be the same reaction. Well, COVID had the last laugh, didn't they? Shut us all down. But that was okay, because then came the online gigs. A lot of comedians didn't really like them. I think there was a lot of feeling that, they didn't like the quiet. When there being no audience, there was just a silence in the room. I can't say I noticed a difference. But hey ho. I've decided myself though that I would keep stretching my own muscles in this particular way, because I thought, let's start my own YouTube channel. If you weren't aware that I'd started my own YouTube channel, please ask yourself, what did you think you were watching right now? But I thought, yeah, if Joe Wicks can do it, maybe I can make a little bit of money out of this YouTube thing myself. Obviously, what I didn't realise was that you actually have to post content that people want to see. Lesson learned. But that actually leads me quite nicely onto my first real thought about lockdown, and that's exercise, because that was like the most important thing that we've had to deal with. Everyone was exercising. constantly. They were all just doing something, and we were trying to be the good parents about it too. Thinking, I'm going to stick my kids in front of YouTube for half an hour, let Joe amuse them. Then we can frantically make phone calls, send emails, do video calls and meetings. Yeah, I very quickly worked out that that wasn't going to work when my children repeatedly would come in during these meetings and disturb me. So the only way I could make sure they were getting that exercise was I had to start doing it with them. I can't tell you how upsetting that was. It wasn't at all embarrassing seeing me rolling around on the floor like an idiot. The problem was, it didn't take long for the kids to just stop doing it altogether. I found myself, it wasn't long before, it was just me. I was the only one fighting the good fight out there, doing that exercise in front of Joe. Although what I will say is that I did, let myself fall away with a few substitutions now and again. Because let's be honest, who's doing burpees when no one's watching them? Absolutely not. But I think the problem was, it was because we weren't really allowed out very much. It was like, an hour a day. It's like prison. It's like being in prison and that was your time in the yard. And it was actually like that because you would go outside and everyone would be there. It didn't matter what time you went out. The streets were filled. I actually found that it was safer being indoors than outdoors. There was that many people there. I have literally never seen that many people cycling, walking, jogging. Hold on, sorry. I mean running, not jogging, because we don't jog anymore. A good friend of mine told me a few years ago that we no longer jog, we walk or we run. There's no in between. I thought that can't be true. Doesn't seem right. So I figured, being a scientific person, I'm going to check that out. So I went onto Instagram and very scientifically looked at how many hashtags were for jogging. And at that point, there was less than 100 posts using the hashtag jogging. But there was over 75 million hashtags for running. Now, I'm not saying that I don't believe these people. All I'm going to say is I think some people are being a little dishonest with themselves to the speed in which they're moving. Anyway, back to lockdown. The streets were filled with people. The only thing is, what I noticed was the day after lockdown restrictions were lifted, not a soul to be seen. No one jogging, no one running, no one walking, nothing. And I kind of put that down to the old thing of being told that you can't do stuff. What is it about being told you can't do it instantly makes you want to do it more? It's a bit like having fatty foods when you're on a diet, or opening the airplane door when you're in flight, or going for the back door when your girlfriend's already told you not to. The other thing we've all been doing to stay outside is gardening. It's like lawns have never been more cut than what they were this summer. Everyone's trying to be more self-sufficient. Let's grow things, let's make things happen. It's like being a constant episode of The Good Life. There are more greenhouses being sold this year than at any time in our past. Although I'm not entirely certain that's to do with self-sufficiency. I think that's more to do with the fact that men have never been asked to be indoors with their wives and children for quite so much time. I might partake myself, but I can't even grow weeds, so it's never going to work. I think the other issue with this whole thing though is it could have all been avoided. and it certainly wouldn't have been as bad. But as a culture, we cannot stay still. We can't stay still. We have to be moving. I mean, not me. I feel like I've been training for this event my entire life. I don't like leaving the house because when you go out, it costs you money, and I'm really tight. I also don't really like people. Also, my house is quite comfy, so it's quite nice to sit in. But most people aren't like me, and they've got to be out and moving around. It's like, oh, I've got to see my friends. You don't. You can see them on the phone. You can do it that way. Oh, I like going to the shops. I need to buy a dress. No, you don't. You're not seeing anyone. You're not going anywhere. You don't need a dress. Stay indoors. Shut up. Actually, the whole way we've responded to this particular emergency is baffling. You know, in our past, we've had instances where planes flew into buildings. And you know, we avoided air travel like it was the plane's fault. It was like, these planes are aiming for buildings, let's stay off them. Sri Lanka was savaged by a tsunami. That was like a once in a lifetime occurrence that no one would ever expect to happen again. Yet everyone's like, well, I'm not going to Sri Lanka. It's dangerous over there, isn't it? Yet here we've got a killer virus, and we've been told the only way to keep everybody safe is to stay in isolation. So what do? Spread it around. Let's get out. Let's get it all over the place. It literally makes no sense at all. We also don't have the ability to follow simple instructions. You know, my eyes are really blurry. What should I do? Stay inside. Right, I'll drive to Barnard Castle. You've tested positive for COVID-19. What should I do? Stay inside. Okay, I'm going to get on the train for 7 hours. Perfect. Absolutely fine. You go to the shopping malls, and they go, everybody keep to the left. What left? Your left? My left? Oh, just do either one. It's not going to matter. No one cares. Why can't people follow one-way systems? You go one way. It's not rocket science. If these people, any of these people who can't do that, have driving licenses, hand them back. You do not deserve it if you cannot follow a simple instruction like that. The other thing you notice, being stuck in the house in lockdown, stuck in the house all the time, is that neighbours are dicks. Honestly, you read these news reports about neighbours dobbing neighbours into the police because they went out and they weren't wearing the key worker uniform, or they're sat at home monitoring how long you're supposed to go out for, how long you're out on your exercise. We know, warden, it's an hour, back off. But I already had neighbours who I felt were like paying an inappropriate amount of attention to me. I really didn't need any more. You know, we've got these neighbours who just, you know, live kind of over the road a bit from us. And one of them came over at one point when my wife and I were loading the car to go to the tip. Can you remember just going to the tip when you went, let's just take some rubbish out? You know, when you get to do it without having to book an appointment, like it was, you know, getting a haircut or going to the cinema, you know, all the joyous occasions. But no, so we were doing what we do, loading the car, or I was loading, my wife was standing, having a chat, and it was one of those little weird conversations where, you know, like when you're walking back and forth, you're only catching bits of the conversation, so you're not kind of keeping up with everything that's going on. So on my first trip to the car, I heard the neighbour say about how bad it was that these houses that we live in have these big front windows in the bathrooms. And I thought, well, it's privacy glass, so I don't really care. Then on my second trip past, she went, oh, you know, you can still see so much more detail when someone's in a shower than what you would, you know, expect. I thought, okay, even with the frosted glass, okay, but maybe stop looking, be an idea. On the third trip, she went, you really need to do something about that bush because it's getting out of control. And I thought, that's getting a bit personal now. But I'm not in this conversation and I don't want to upset anyone, so I'm going to leave it. Then on the fourth trip, she went, no, it's getting out of hand. I found myself having to walk on the road just to avoid it. And I went, right, you stop right now. I don't care who you are, but you do not get involved in the manscaping or landscaping that happens inside my house. Obviously, I felt a bit embarrassed when I realised that they'd moved on from talking about the bathroom window to the front garden. But, you know, a bit awkward. We've all been doing a lot more of that, you know, working from home. And actually it's not been the inverted commas working from home because we've actually had to be doing it. And there's been a lot of bitterness between, you know, people who can't and people who can. But I've actually been surprised by how many people can actually work from home. You know, like my wife is a nurse and she has worked from home a fair bit. Now I was surprised by that. And to be honest, it was a bit weird having all the patients coming round quite so often. But you know what? You get used to it and they really enjoyed the free parking. But really it's all Zoom calls and video calls and that sort of thing. And we really are like gotten used to doing these calls, and everyone's joking about how we've got, it's all the things about the clothing, isn't it, of, you know, oh, people are all really smartly dressed on top and then they're wearing casual clothes down below, saying, oh, when you go back to work, you know, your trousers and skirts are going to be brand new, but your shirts and jackets will be wrecked because that's all anyone saw for the past 6 months. But I have a little trouble with the concept. I have a little trouble with the concept that they think everybody is dressed casually down below. In fact, what my issue is, the fact that they think that people are actually dressed down below. Because they're fucking not. It's very liberating to be in the middle of a call and having it all kind of like flowing free down below, isn't it? Yeah, I know what you're up to. And I'm tell you something. That's going to be the most difficult part about when you're back in work properly and you sit there in the boardroom in the middle of a meeting. It's going to be a lot harder to have that casual wank. The new normal has had its fair set of challenges though. The new normal, that's what we call it, isn't it? You know, us all working from home, having that new normal. You know, it's like when there's roadworks outside and it's a hot day, so you can't have the window open, so you know, no air conditioning, really hot in here. Or when you're on a Teams call with your boss and you have to stop in mid-sentence because the rains came on and you've got a washing out. It's not easy. The worst one is no one's entirely sure what the etiquette is when, you know, your video call goes and you're having a nooner with your partner. It's not easy. It's not easy. The other thing we've been doing a lot of during this whole lockdown thing is, you know, watching a lot of TV. And I think we can all agree that the geniuses over at Disney played their cards particularly well with the launching of Disney Plus right at the start of a lockdown. Fantastic idea. Almost as if somebody went to Boris, hey look, you know how we're launching this new streaming service at the end of March? Is there any way you could send the entire population home for about 3 months? Would really help us out. Also, we'll make it worth your while. He would totally do that. I'm telling you. And let's be honest, Disney Plus is just filled with the same old crap that we have seen years, and we've seen it hundreds and hundreds of times, and we saw it for years. But we're lapping it up. It's like, oh, do you like the Avengers? Yeah? Great, we've got a couple of dozen of them on there. On you go, have at. Do you like Disney princesses? Got all the old ones and the new ones. Loving it. Do you like Star Wars? Do you want to see all the new Star Wars films? No? Alright, fine. We've got the old ones too. Watch that. It's crazy, isn't it? The flack that the new Star Wars films have gotten, to the point where people are turning around and going, you know what? The prequels are better. And you're like, what? The prequels are better? What? The Phantom fucking Menace? Jar Jar fucking Binks is better? We are talking about films that are coated in racism, racist stereotypes, anti-Semitism. But that's okay, because that's still preferable to a film with a female lead. Because my God, a bit of casual sexism, that's alright. It's not just Disney though that have had it made during this period. There's been some other really good shows on some of the other channels. Like Tiger King. Everyone was watching that for a while. Fantastic show. Anyone who doesn't know what it's about a delusional psychopath with crazy hair who wanted to be president. Really dodged that bullet, didn't we? It also taught us the most efficient way for to get a tiger to eat an entire human person. Thanks, Carol Baskin. I wonder how she knows that. Another really popular show has been Normal People, or as it's otherwise known, Irish Porn. It's basically running along the same storyline as the film She's All That, where the most beautiful woman or most beautiful girl in the school is getting bullied for being ugly. Then suddenly everybody realises that she's beautiful. But it's, you know, Irish and has significantly more boning. Then you've got Killing Eve. Wow. Talk about false advertising. 3 seasons and that bitch is still alive. I've also been watching a lot of the daytime television shows. You know, the Pete's, you know, the old stuff. Wanted Down Under. Love that show. Fantastic. And what I really love is, at the start of every one of those shows, you've got the family all together and they go, why do you want to move to Australia? And they go, oh, we really want more time as a family. You know, try lockdown. You know, that'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? You know, no, we really want more time. We want a slower way of life. We just want to really enjoy it. Just take more time to ourselves. And you go, oh, that's great. So the first thing they do when they get them to Australia is they go, right, we're going to show you 3 houses. See which one you would like. So they take them to the first house and they go, this one's under your budget. And they walk in and they're like, oh, well, it's all right. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I thought we might have got a bit more for our money. And the host goes, oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's only the first house. Come to the second house. This one is right on your budget. And they walk in and they go, yeah, It's alright, it's quite nice this one, isn't it? Yeah, it's okay. It's, you know, similar to what we got at home. But it's nice. Oh, that's... Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Let's look at the third house. They walk into the third house and they go, oh, wow, that is amazing. This is the house that I want to live in. This is where we should be living. And the host goes, okay, but this is a little bit over your budget. And they go, okay. They go, so out of the 3 houses, which one would you prefer? And they go, really, I think it should be the third house. It's the third house that we really like. And they go, okay, but it's over your budget. How are you going to afford it? You go, well, I think we'll just work a few more hours, do a bit more work. Yeah. Fuck the family, I want the house. There's been a lot of this cinema experience in your own home going on. Have you seen this? You know, oh, get Trolls World Tour in your house, watch Milan. And they're trying to sell it like, oh, watch it in the comfort of your own house, just stream it straight from your TV. And you're like, hold on. Why are you trying to make out that renting is something you've just invented? This idea that sitting in my house watching a rental is somehow better than the big screen itself. Tell me why I was spending £10 a ticket every time. No, renting is not new. Come back, Blockbuster, all is forgiven. And I'll tell you what, Blockbuster didn't charge me 16 quid in order to watch that film in my own home. No, not having it. This isn't new. Get the cinemas back open. That's where we want to go. I've also been watching a fair few of the old inspirational films. You know, lots of sporting ones where, you know, they left it all on the field, or they went for the big job because that's what they really wanted. I love those sorts of films. They're great. But a common theme throughout them is that the lead character never has any commitment, or any children, or any partner. So all I can take from that is that the lesson to be learned is, if you want to be successful, stay single. Sounds good. Sounds good. Right, well, we're nearly done here. I've just got a couple more thoughts that I want to share with you. One of them is, have you seen the new rules on lockdown? So when we came into this new lockdown, someone released some rules of what to say to a police officer if you're caught outside the house. And it's great, because it's a long list of every possible excuse you could ever need, from I'm going to work, to I am at work, to I'm exercising, or I need to go to the shop, or I need to go and see a sick relative, or my parrot's ill, anything at all. It is a great list. It turns out though, the only thing that you could probably say to get in trouble is, I'm going down to the shop to hang out with my mates. So they've literally invented a lockdown that is designed to just thwart teenagers who are too stupid to lie. Fantastic. Right in for that. Lock them all up. And lastly, we've got... I kept seeing all these posts on social media, things like LinkedIn, Facebook, and it was people saying things like, if we don't learn any lessons from coronavirus or lockdown, then humanity is lost. We need to learn to move forward, and we need to take something from this. And that got me thinking, what exactly is the lesson that I'm supposed to be learning from this? Because this virus spread because people were socialising, they were spending time with each other, and they were embracing. Well, let's put a stop to all that then. Stay inside, be a hermit, watch the TV, stay away from people. I'm in. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been Thoughts on Lockdown Live. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, please press the subscribe button to be informed of any new videos. Also, check out my Friends from Work pilot episode of my new little animated thing that I'm doing. That'll be down there on my videos, so you'll go and click into that and take a look. Also, if you've enjoyed it, this is going to be on YouTube now forever, so please share with your friends or anyone else. I'm so pleased to have had so many of you join me for it. It's taken a good half hour, which I'm really pleased about, so brilliant. And great. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care. Bye.